Pogba says he plays better football when he's playing happy. It makes sense. It seems logical, and the stats back him up. Have you seen a much improved Manchester United performance? Have you seen a much improved Paul Pogba performance since Mourinho's gone?
Yeah, I think so. There seems to be a real sense of freedom amongst the football team. I think one of the biggest things is that when Mourinho was manager, you know, I was delighted when he came to the football club, because I thought he could pick Manchester United up again. Obviously, he did well at first, but then it dropped off, and it just seemed to me towards the end that he would pick battles with players. And that's not going to help. You know, I think gone are the days now where you can probably dig out individuals and expect them then to respond in a positive manner. I think now, if you look at all the top managers in world football, not just the Premier League, the biggest thing, the strongest thing in their armoury is man management skills. And I think Solskjaer's gone in there and said to the players, "You're all good players. How can I get you into the team? How can I play to your strengths?" And whereas I think Mourinho was a little bit hesitant is in terms of the defensive side of things, so a lot of players would have to play 10 or 15 yards deeper. I think Solskjaer's looked at it and gone, right, OK, our best form of defence is to attack. They commit numbers higher up the pitch. The players seem to enjoy that. They press higher up the pitch. And I just think there's a sense of freedom. There's probably a very different style of man management from Solskjaer, and Mike Phelan as well, who deserves great credit as well, than under Mourinho.
Can you explain the numbers and the increase in the numbers for Paul Pogba, the improvement in the performance from him, just by good man management, just by making someone happy?
Players need to know that you care about them and you respect them, but you want them to do well. So, and I think it's somewhere in that relationship with him and Mourinho, that fell apart. It was lost. And I think Mike Phelan, his feeling for Manchester United was a huge miss for David Moyes when he got the job, because it was all working well. I think him coming back now with Gunnar, if you look at those stats, it's quite frightening, isn't it? Look at the goals he's getting now. And you only got to watch it, you know he's really, really trying to do well. So that is all part of the magic of football. And we've been chatting off air, it's modern players. You can't dig them out, you've got to love them up, you've got to get them with you, but there has to be discipline as well, you know, so...
So because of that, how do we feel about Jose Mourinho, who's spoken for the first time since leaving Manchester United? The terms of the agreement, we think, mean that he can't talk about his time at Manchester United specifically, but he has pointed out, quite rightly, he finished second, he won trophies, and said they're good achievements. On the face of it, that's absolutely true and can't be argued with. Because of the improvement since he left in the way that they play, is that going to be a mitigating factor for anybody looking at him for their next move? Yeah,
I think obviously that's going to be brought into the equation, but the one thing you would say in Mourinho's defence is that he signed a new contract, I think it was last February. He wasn't backed for the players that he wanted in the summer. We know that he wanted a centre-back. It was something that was spoken about a lot. That's something that Solskjaer so far hasn't had to deal with. You know, he's come in, he's got the team playing with a smile on the face, which has been important for them. I think that's been key to them. He's got them enjoying the football, but the difference will be is if he takes the job in the summer, if he gets it full-time, then all of a sudden he's going to be given this money and he's going to have to deal with the powers that be. And that's the biggest thing for me. I know they're on a great run at the moment, but as far as I'm concerned, the biggest thing for Manchester United at the moment is getting things sorted for the summer behind the scenes, so whether it's Solskjaer or whether it's a new manager that comes in, they can then hit the ground running.
On Mourinho, though, he's spoken about being too young to retire. And will the next person who's looking to employ him look at the fact that when he left Manchester United and another manager, a young, inexperienced manager, albeit with a very experienced coach alongside him, improved the team? Will that count against Mourinho, do you think?
You never know which owners are going to look at him. I believe he's... In my lifetime of trying to be a manager myself, all I can do is admire him, I think. But in recent years, he hasn't looked the same Jose. Those eyes aren't sparkling like they were when he first came over, you know, when he said he was a special one. But maybe sometimes you just need a break. I think he's been at the top, he's been fighting for so long. He's almost having a fight with himself or his owners, and then that's coming over onto the players. But I always felt, personally, there was something wrong with him signing Pogba. You know, when Sir Alex Ferguson said, "You're not bigger than Man United, out you go," and yet Mourinho then re-signs him. So it always felt a bit weird to me to pay that much money for a lad who might not be the character that you need in that dressing room.
I think as well, when Pogba came, obviously there was a huge amount of pressure going back to the club where he'd grown up. The fact that it was a world record fee. I think also as well, everybody was saying, right, OK, this is Paul Pogba, he's going to come into this football team and he's going to run the midfield. He's never done that before, he's never had to do that before. People forget he played with Vidal, he played with Pirlo at Juventus. He didn't have to do that. All of a sudden he comes to Manchester United and he's the man that's going to put the ball in the back of the net, going to assist, but he's also going to stop the ball going into the back of your own net. There's no such thing as box-to-box midfielders now. And he came in, and I believe at times under Mourinho, he was the nearly man, nearly getting onto the end of things in the attacking side of things, nearly stopping things in the defensive side. Whereas Solskjaer's looked at him and said, right, OK, you're either a defensive midfielder or you're attacking midfielder now in the way the game's played. And he's an attacking midfielder. We've seen that, you know, the stats. I think, what is it? Was it 4 goals and 5 assists or 5 goals and 4 assists since Solskjaer's taken the job? And that's what he's at his best. And that's what Solskjaer's looked at. He's looked at, right, OK, this Paul Pogba come here, he's such an exciting talent, a world-class player. Well, you build a team around him, and that's exactly what he's done. So he's got the freedom now to go and do what he wants to do.
I feel he's balanced the team better because you've got better legs. You know, if you have Mata and Matic, it's you know, and Herrera, they're not all runners, whereas Pogba, giving him a bit of freedom to get forward, is possibly where he played for Juventus and scored a lot of goals, you know. But it's getting that balance right, but there's a lot more to it, you know. To see them counter-attacking, now I thought his tactics the other day were excellent against Tottenham. They were absolutely excellent. Yeah, Tottenham should have, if it weren't for De Gea, second half they came back into it, but he actually beat Pochettino. Do you know what I mean? Let's be perfectly honest there. For me, he's growing into that role, and I think he's doing brilliantly. There ain't much more he can do, apart from, say, you know, if he'd have already won a trophy somewhere, we'd be talking about him already having the job, wouldn't we? So, credit where credit's due. What a change he's made.